Hello everybody. Today, uh, today our group, which is group 4, will introduce a comparison of between Enumclaw, Washington, USA, and Ciudad, Rodrigo, from Spain. You can see in the left hand, left picture. Here is a Enumclaw, and in the right picture is a Ciudad Rodrigo, in Spain. Both of them are uh, suburb. Yes. Next, please. Uh, about the location. About the location. Uh, in the left hand, in the left picture, you can see that in the bottom of the picture, annual class uh, uh, is is not really close or far from Seattle. Imagine that we are living nearby Seattle, right? So if you live in a Seattle, you want to go annual class, you need to spend 60 minutes to arrive there by a car. Uh, but however, in the right hand, you can see that Rodrigo, Rodrigo. And I, you need to take a plane to go there, because it's come from Spain. It is another country. So yes, next please. Um, about the disease, we are talking about first one is general people and building, uh, how people living. And the second is explaining resident area surrounding public land, road, and environment in both country. Yes, the feeling feedback. The third is feeling feedback. The fourth is screening, coverage, and surrounding. Uh, the the fifth is living cost, the disadvantage, and application. Okay, next please. Um, Uh, the first one, I will talk about general about how people living there and building. In the annual class in Washington, USA, is quite small and quiet town. The total area is around 14.4.27 square miles. It's also uh, 11.6 11.06 kilometers. They have a lot of farmland, and you can see here is a Rainier Mountain, and also they have a lot of view. Many view like this have a view of Rainier Mountains. Here have a 12,934 people live in here in 2023. That is, I take a surveys in recently. Everyone here is so friendly. When you hang out in the night, you can find a lot of interesting nice restaurant like sushi. Yeah, and they have a lot of brewery which provide beer for human. Uh, and you can see in the right picture is about the Ciudad, Spain. Uh, yeah, uh, yeah, there are 12, 12,000 896 people live in here in 2016, and it's so the population here is so similar with Enumclaw. Other hands, yes, and you can see here have an ancient building with an old wall, So uh, 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 here have a lot of tourists for tour have a lot of tourists. It's also a job for human here to take money. Yes, and because they have a fortress of special building like fortress and castle, and the large of area is around 240 kilometer, and it's bigger than Enumclaw, and that's that shows about general people and building. Next one, move to Jimin. Jimin will introduce a specific about both sides. Yeah.
I'm Jimin, and I'm going to show the differences and similarities of the residential area and surrounding public lands and roads and environment. First, let me introduce you to the residential area of Enumclaw and Ciudad Rodrigo. First, in Enumclaw, the gap between houses is wider and more single-story than in Ciudad Rodrigo. In addition, as you can see in the first picture, there is a parking lot in every individual house. But compared to Enumclaw, there is a separate parking lot in the village in Ciudad Rodrigo, so it is not a private place. The next page. Next, let me show you how big the yard is and how it is used. To start with Enumclaw, each house has a front yard and a backyard. Most of the front yard is used as a parking area for cars, and there are plants. The backyard is often larger than the front yard. As shown in the pictures, the backyard is decorated like a garden or plants are ground. It is also used as a hobby place where they can enjoy badminton and volleyball. It's a place where they can spend time with their pets. An enclosed backyard is more important than the front yard because it is a private place. Next page. Ciudad Rodrigo has a bigger front yard than backyard, unlike Enumclaw. First of all, the front yard is decorated beautifully. So there are plants and a small fountain, and there are lights and tables. So I feel like I'm at a cafe. Unlike Enumclaw, they don't park their cars. They're a little bit plants. Frankly speaking, it is too small to be a backyard. In other words, Enumclaw's backyard is considered as a much larger and more important place than the front yard. On the contrary, Ciudad Rodrigo's front yard is considered more important because it is larger than its backyard and is also considered a place to show others. Another page. The next thing I'm going to introduce is public property. Enumclaw has more birds than Enumclaw. There is not much difference. Enumclaw is dotted with parks, but Ciudad Rodrigo, on the other hand, is mostly concentrated in the center. Next page. This time, I'm gonna show you the characteristics of a public property using a shopping center as an example. Shopping centers are concentrated in both cities. There are relatively many shopping centers in Ciudad Rodrigo, but few shopping malls in suburb. Next one. Another example is the hotel. Ciudad Rodrigo has more hotels than Enumclaw's hotel. There are 2 hotels in Enumclaw and 10 in Ciudad Rodrigo. Enumclaw's hotel is one in the center and one on the suburb. On the contrary, Ciudad Rodrigo has birds the hotels in the center. The next page. Finally, I'm going to show you about the roads and the environment. I look up the main road on the map, even though it's just a suburb. It's a narrow road, only one lane, but because the traffic is low. But the road is so narrow that it's hard for a big truck to pass by. The sidewalk is about the same size as a single lane on a road. It's not a narrow road. But see you at the next one. Ciudad Rodrigo also looked for a larger road in the suburb, and there is only one lane like in Enumclaw. However, unlike in Enumclaw, the roads are relatively wide, so large trucks can pass by. Additionally, the sidewalk is narrower than in Enumclaw. The last one. One photo on the left corresponds to Enumclaw, where there is a lot of parking space on the street. Most roads are difficult to walk around without cars, so they are not suitable for walking around. But the two pictures on the right show Ciudad Rodrigo, which also has a lot of parking spaces on the road. Ciudad Rodrigo, like Enumclaw, is designed to be easy to drive around, making it unsuitable for people to walk around. Next one will introduce about Jonathan.
All right. Now we are we are sharing about the feeling when we live in here in the two different cities. So the first city is Enumclaw, Washington, in USA. As you can see, it's covered. It's surrounding by green spaces. You can see here is a field. Is some kind of trees around this and around the suburban. And let's take a picture in here at this at the somewhere at the city. We can see there are a lot of trees here, and if I can say anything that I live here, I would say this is very beautiful, and uh, living here is worth more than you think. So there are many, like you can see there are shop, there are some kind of in other uses than housing here. It's not just housing around these suburbans, and this is like the scenario when you living in this city. Wait. And you can see the difference about these. These are more house and more cars, something, and these are less house, less car, and you just see the road, not even like the way for a pedestrian. This is like when you live in this city, and this is a big difference between the two. Yeah. And next one is Ciudad, Rodrigo in Spain. This is surrounded by like desert. As you can see, this yellow here, and mostly it's desert. And the scenario in this city is more house than you can see in USA. This house is not separated like in the US. They are more like connected into each other and not very much space between each house. And yeah, this is for like an example. And the street here is like small and not really convenient for cars, but it's also have the way to for a pedestrian. Yeah, this is. But I love this scenario too. So this scene is beautiful. And next one, yeah, they have other uses like shopping, restaurant, among the housing here. They are not just housing in the suburban. And this is like the street when you live in this city, and this is a different from suburban too. You can see that there's just the road and a few houses. Yeah. Wait, I'm sorry. So this is like when you're driving and you like walk in these cities. I will give you like one word for this Ciudad city is beautiful, like in Spain way, and in US we have like the streets are more wide and more convenient. I love these two, and they are different between these two cities, but I love both. So let's move on.
My part have 3 questions. Is at the first, what makes an urban environment feel good or bad, happy or sad, lonely or connected? I think the greening coverage of a city is important. A large number of research have showed us the greening coverage of a city can make people feeling happiness and delighted. And as a second question in my part, what are some advantages of living in surroundings? Not that we did not visit any urban housing development, but we drawn through many of them, and Suburban living offers benefits like quieter surroundings, large homes, access to green space. The house is cheaper and potential for citizens of the community. Despite limit on set observation. And as the last question in my part, let's talk about how can we tell a place is built for a car, not for people. A place built for car, not for people, often has wide roads, few potential pathways, limited public space, and the potential the parking over pedestrian friendly function of social space. And let's say about my picture. Show us the picture. It's like if you feel so tired that day, you will see like all the street and the landscape is all the green, and feel so you will feel so relaxed and comfortable, right? And this is my part. And last part, we will call another student to answer.
The next part is Sama.
Hello everyone. I will talk about disadvantage of living in suburbs. In Spain. I will talk about disadvantage in Spanish, high cost of rent, poor job market, diminishing natural areas, and progresses in Spain. They have a poor job. That's why the people, most of people in the world don't like to go in Spain because crime in areas and they have a poor job and the culture is very different between the Spain and the USA. Next. What are some of living in suburbs? The education and the crime and the cost of living and the people overall satisfaction in Washington, USA. There is too much there is there are a cost lower and the education very lower and also the housing is very expensive to the people and the hospital and the healthy care and the transportation. That's why the people don't like to live in USA and this one the advantage between the USA and between Spain. Next.
Is this slide?
Yeah. The same between USA and Spain. That the area it is same. The area in Washington same. The area in Spain, and they have a population. Some of whom can track their ancestry to that time, and the Southwest in California and Texas and Arizona. The size it is same the city in Spain. The next slide. Next. What is placeness and do we observe it lacking a fixed location, a places parking complex. For example, a gas and petrol and situation and convenience store. Also the fast food Chinese. Also another example of placeless landscape elements because they have no special connection to the location in which they are found. So they lose at the last in Spain the consuming animal products that are unfavorable to America. a lot of people work or take public transportation, meal smoking, and melt times. This is the difference between the Spain and the American. This one some example, the smoke and melt times. Focus on another individual. However, I must think the similar thing in Spain and USA, the space in some states, and something in common.
So thank you for
listening.
listening, and
Thank you.
yeah.